so we're going to begin our downdraft table today simply by going ahead and get some glue ups ready. I'm going to be doing a double layer of 3/4 MDF on this top. That way I'll have 1.5 inches. Maybe a little bit less flex in this. I hope to be using it for quite a while, so I'm hoping that adding a little bit more thickness to it will beef it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start and make a big mess at first, and we're just going to add glue all over real quick. So we're going to see if this works. You got to remember that it's 99% of the time just a one-man show here in the shop. So everything's got to be done by yours truly. So we will see how sliding this MDF board over goes. Maybe, maybe not. I might be picking it up here in a second. We will see. Alright, now that it's mostly here, we'll get a little more lined up before I use those. Hey! Worked kind of like I planned it to. Get this out. We're going to line it up. A nice even fit all around. We're going to tack it together. Okay. I put it up on here. I want to make sure that everything fits and dries pretty well. That looks pretty good all the way across. And that's my hopes, is that making a thicker piece, there'll be less bow. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down in just a few places real quick. Temporary clamping. Then I'm going to come through and I'm going to add a few screws. We're going to countersink all of this, simply because we don't want anything coming up. So we're going to be inlaying tracking into this later on. There's going to be 7 feet of rockler track there and 7 feet here. That way we can add dogs and clamps and such. This is a smaller screw. That should be more than enough to pre-drill for that. So I'm not going to put any measure on, just 1 inch in, 1 inch in, I think will be fine. And I'm just wanting to countersink. This is just to hold it all in place as I'm working here in the next little while. So I will be inlaying, so throughout this guy, since it's a downdraft table, there'll be holes throughout. I will be going with 3/4 inch holes in this. There's a lot of clamps and things that fit that. So that really makes sense, of course. That way we can have it multi-purpose, because I do want this to be, a big work table, not just only when I'm sanding. I want to be able to use this at any given time. There we go. We want it to suck up, not push apart. Perfect. 2 more. then now, guys, it is one solid piece as the glue dries, and I will start laying out the base for my screw holes, where we'll have it breathing nicely. There we go, get a nice attachment. So now it is screwed down, and we should be good to go while all that glue dries. But anyway, we'll be making multiple sections this video, but there's the beginning section, then I'll come back after all the grid is laid out. Alright, guys? Good deal. Alright, guys, so what you see now is I've made my grid, and I've inlaid all of my 3/4 holes. Now, the reason I chose 3/4 is that's going to allow for a lot of this larger material, because this is also going to be a planing sled. This is not just going to be a fine dust table. I'm hoping that it will pull some of the larger pieces, like when I'm using my router and such, it'll pull some of the larger flakes in. Another reason that I chose 3/4 is that is the size of a lot of the dogs that are used. You know, like the bracing dogs and lock dogs and such, the inserts that can go into that, the 3/4 insert is the common size for that. So that way this is multi-purpose, because I can put those all in this grid if I need to hold down pieces. The next step in this little project for us, and maybe I'll be able to get to that today. As you can see, I have brought my first, these are spaced on 4-inch increments all around the table. So if you're watching the video in hopes of building this table, I have went through with a 3/4 inch, and it is at 4-inch increments all the way around the table. This is a double layer of MDF to give it a little bit more strength when I put it on the top. That way there's no flex or bow in this piece. So we've got these inserts, these track inserts that we went and got from the local woodworking store. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert these. We've got 7 feet of tracking for either, and we're going to insert that on either side. And we're probably going to go back and put some on the other side, but as you guys can see, this is what we're going to have here in the next few hours, hopefully. And we're gonna insert that in and screw it down. That way we can put clamp accessories and such onto this work table when we're using it. So, alright, guys, so for the next part of this, as you can already see on that side, we have inlaid this tracking system right here. So this tracking system, we're going to be able to put clamp dogs, bench dogs, things like that onto it. And with a multi-purpose table like this, we figured that's probably a pretty handy thing to have. So we went ahead and inlaid some on that side. We're going to go ahead and inlay it here. We've just created a straight line. I've measured the distance from the front of my router to the back side of the bit, and although this is 3/4 tracking, I only have a 1/2 inch bit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it once, then we're going to step it forward 3/4 of an inch. So give me just 1 second to get my stuff on, and we will begin.
Okay, guys, what we're going to find, hopefully, is that with this straight edge and that we have inlaid enough of it to, we'll find my hose, that we have inlaid enough of it to be able to set our tracking line. So we'll go to the table, let's see, alright.
So we have that in, and now we'll be able to take our section of 3/4 tracking. See, they're gonna come in 2 inches. And I could have done 4 feet each, but honestly, seems like this one's going to be a little bit tight. Maybe need to go back through and do a little bit on this side. It seems like just a little tight, barely. But we don't want to force it. I don't think. Let's Seems like it's right there. Anyway, that side just needs a trim with a razor knife, but you guys get an idea. And let me go ahead and inset a dog to where you can see. These are the clamps, that one of the accessories that goes on it. So once this is screwed down to the table, these can be ran into that track, and the piece can be locked in and tightened down, and that will make a vice surface on the table as well, which is really good. You know, but see, now you can see the inset tracking on that, and we will have it go down and then possibly all the way across. We'll just have to see. And then we have this other section over here as well. So what I've got is, now you see, I've inlaid this tracking system here, and the reason being is this is just one of the attachments that I'll be able to use. Let's see, I can dog this down, and now I can sand on this piece. You know, I can work on this piece, I can route this piece. You can move them around, you know, and be able to, and now this thing is stationary. You know, I can also, the reason being, while I added these inserts, as said in previous videos, is to allow for dogs to go down, you know, clamp dogs and such as that. All of those are the common fit size, but like I said, this is one of the examples of the reason that I put this in, because now we have a downdraft table, which I'll be continuing on it tomorrow. We've got the downdraft table that'll be bringing all the dust inside. But now we also have tracking systems and clamps all around the exterior. And I'll probably put some there and there as well, just to lock down any smaller pieces that I'm working on. Just really makes sense, you know. Hey guys, and good morning. So, yesterday I was able to finish the top section of my downdraft table, and we inserted the 3/4 holes, and we inlaid the tracking system. As you guys can see just right here, we inlaid this tracking system for clamp dogs and such. There's going to be a really multi-surface piece. So anyway, what we have now is the bottom box design. All right, we have went ahead and put the pocket hole screws in, and we've created everything. We are going to go ahead and glue it in place this morning, but we just wanted to take a second and show you guys what we've got going on. So when we do this, airtight is going to be a really important thing, of course, in a vacuum table. So and we're going to do more videos here in just a little while, but the sloping on the interior of it's going to be very important. But we want to make sure that all of this is nice and even and caulked and airtight, because we definitely don't want anything coming out of that, right? All right, so we're just gonna kind of get it close. That'll do. I want to lock it in place so we're not going to have a lot of movement here. And that little bit of glue, that's not really an issue, not at all, simply because this is going to be the interior of the table. This is, unless I'm having to open it up for clean out or something, you're never going to see this. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting everything lined up for these two outside edges, and I can move the in and out accordingly as I go. But I want to go ahead and get this locked in. There we go. Probably need an extension, as you guys can see on that. We're going to go ahead and get a few of them in. There we go. All right, so now we have that section in, and we're gonna flip over here and do the same thing. And we're just gonna work our way around this table. I don't really want a whole lot of stuff getting off. Like I said, this is my actual downdraft tabletop. We're already using it as a work surface. See, guys, so it's definitely proving useful on day one. bring this over to where we can clamp. Like I said, I may be making a little bit of messes. I'm not lining up perfectly when I'm laying down. Not a huge issue. And I will go through here in just a little bit when we're not doing a video and go ahead and run all the other screws in and true up the outside edges. That's a really important thing. But we're going to get it locked in place and just get the box formed where you guys can visually see it. And then in the next part, we can show you the base, the interior design to allow for proper airflow in this piece, because I don't have a very large vacuum system at the moment. We are going to be getting one, but we are still wanting to be able to use this. So we'll be able to isolate other tools and hopefully support this with our small one at the moment. So, alright, we've got the two outside edges done, and we've already got these right here. Seems like we need just a trim on this. Just a trim, we'll go ahead and take that off while we're on. Maybe one more, we'll just have to see. There we go. Yeah, so we've got a nice fit on that one. Let's go ahead and get the glue up. And since it's there, I'm just going to let it hang as it will for 1 second. And I'll glue it directly there. Since I've already got it inside the fit. We'll see if we can just flip it over. It's almost like we planned that. Alright. And if there is any touch of high-low in that, I can of course do a little bit of sanding after the fact. Trying to keep my clothes out of the exterior glue. There we go. Alright. We can of course go through and screw together all that here in a few minutes. We've got one more side here that we're going to put in. It may require a small trim as well. We'll see. Like a glove. Okay, we're going to do the same thing and just glue it in place since we have the fit, and then we'll just rotate it. There we go. There we go. Just don't want to. I'm getting a little bit of glue on my downdraft table, but you know, I guess it's like with that pair of shoes. You always don't want to get that first scratch or a little bit of mud in your car. I'm gonna need an extension to bring that one in. These tight corners. And as well for that one, but this will give us a lock in to give you an idea. Alright, so guys, what we have is we have this downdraft table on the underneath. As you guys can see, we have that guy. Okay, now this right here is the formed box that it's going to sit on top of, all right? And we're going to make this airtight, run all this down, and then we are going to slope from the outsides to the interior, and in the middle of this is going to be our suction. So that's going to be our vacuum hose, and we're gonna close this area up in the middle to where there's not quite as much airflow area needed. So here pretty soon it should be getting close to completion. So just stay tuned and we'll get it worked out. We'll talk to you later, guys. See ya. Alright guys, so the next stage of our downdraft table is complete. We have created the box for this table. So this is a 4x8 sheet, a little bit larger. As you can see, we've put these slopes on the outside edges here. And what we're going to do is everything's been caulked and sealed all the way around. And what we're going to do is we're going to reduce a little bit of this area. So we put these ramps on. And now we're going to add this sheet. Okay? So it's already been pre-fit, checked out. I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. And I know that it was a little tight right here to get it below. There we go. Got it done. Okay. So as you guys can see, is what we have now is we're creating this slope here to the throat, all right? And right here is going to be our outtake for it. But what we're wanting to do is we're reducing the square footage in here, and we're creating this slope to where now, rather than dust just coming down and settling in these corners, now hopefully it will come down this ramp a little bit. At least it is now. It's forced to the middle a little bit more. You know, so that should help out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and lock this down. And everything underneath of this has been sealed. So we will of course have to do the table. None of this will be seen or used over time. Maybe opened up to clean out at some point if something gets hung. But other than that, we won't be in here at all. This is just some really fancy guts is all this is. Now we hope that it works. We will see. So, we've got the one in. I'm going to come in front of you for a moment. We're going to go ahead. We've got our other section of ramp right here. Get that up as tight as we can go. And any areas that are opened up, like I said, I will caulk those at the end because we want this airtight. So we're going to go through and seal all edges at the end. Same thing here. There we go. Our pocket hole screw. The edging is just catching. That one just popped right in. Okay. We've got 6 more screws for this section of the build to be complete. We're just going to lock it down to our ramps here. Hopefully, with us reducing this and then putting a slope on it, this will help out with the overall build. In the hopes that we're really going to get some dust out. So let me take a second and show you guys now that we've got it done. So here's the top that it's going to be going on. As you guys can see, we've got it looking pretty good with the track inlaid. And then here is the guts of the table. So we have got that sloped up to, we brought it up to 2.5 inches down to nothing at 42 3/4 inch. That left just a little bit of an area for center for our pipe to come through. We didn't want to put it right up on it, so we left it shy, just a couple inches. And like I said, we have glued and screwed everything, and we have sealed everything underneath of that. Now, what I'm going to go through and do is I'm going to caulk all of these little edges. That way we are 100% airtight. And alright guys, so one of the last segments of this is finally complete. We have now got the 4-inch ductwork hard piped in the table and then soft piped, as you guys can see over here, to the machine that we've got. We now have got a bigger machine, and I'll walk you over and tell you about it in a second. But so anyway, we have now got this 90'd up into our table. We're going to see how well the support is in this. While we've been building it, we've been thinking, and so we're also going to tag team this downdraft / work table with our smaller jet, and then we're going to use all of our hand tools off of these suctions. So that's not going to have any dust. It's going to be going into its own system. And then we have the top over here for it. As you guys can see, we have the top that we're going to be mounting in just a few minutes. But in between the segments of build, we have now got a 4 horsepower unit in. And as you guys can see, it is a hard pipe to my planer here, and then it is soft piped. It's got 3 4-inch ports, all with blast gates. I've got sectioned off, so we've got our soft pipe right there. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that real quick. If you turn that on for them, I'll show them what we've got.
If you turn that on, we're gonna put the top on here in just a few minutes, but as you guys can see, it seems to do pretty well when it's doing that. So really happy with it. I'm hoping that with all of this tag teamed in, hopefully this table isn't really going to be designed for the bigger stuff.
And this is the finished version of our small downdraft table. We've got a 4x8 with a 4-inch port in it. This is mainly going to be for fine dust collection. We have it teamed up, like I said previously, with our small hand tool, and we're also going to use that other 4-inch port. We're going to bring it out and put a large dust hood on it for larger extraction right here on our tables. That way we'll make sure to keep it clean. But like I've said previously, guys, we've got 3/4-inch holes bored in this for our work dogs and spring dogs and things. We've also got these bars inlaid to where we can put clamps and things. This is really just a multi-purpose work table. I'm really happy with it. I think that it's going to really help us out in the shop and speed us along with production. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for following the video, and make sure to subscribe for future ones, alright? We'll talk to you later. See ya.